Even though when you worry about your kids because they're doing something new or something no one else has done, you're still proud of them deep down. You may not like, I know as a mother, I don't always tell my daughter, I'm proud of you when she goes against me, right? Because I'm like, that's not what I want you to do. And she'll do the opposite because she's like you. She's got a lot of just, I call it gumption or spirit or spark, right? And I love to meet women with this spark because it means they're doing something that they feel really driven to do. That's their mission. Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Christina Rahm, and I am with a very famous actress, filmmaker. She's involved in all the creative ways that you have to do movies and television. And my favorite thing to watch on television or movies to watch are Bollywood. So I'm extremely excited to have you here today. I just love watching movies from the Middle East and from India and from that whole area. So it's a privilege to have you on the call today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Dr. Christina. It's my pleasure, and I'm so excited to talk again with you because I had an amazing conversation with you last time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm looking forward.
Thank you. Well, we're going to talk about you today. We want our audience, we're in 90 countries, and so we want them to see who you are and why you're where you are right now. Because I always tell people, in life, it's not easy. You see someone who's made it right in their career and they're doing really well. But the truth is, they've worked so hard to get there. It's not easy to get to a place in a career where you're successful. So I'd love for you to tell the audience just a little bit about you growing up, where you came from, and why you are where you are now. But I want to start when you were younger, so you can tell us a little bit about your family and your life.
Yes, sure. So I am the only girl with four brothers in my family. And since I was a child in school, I used to create so many stories. And that's why I have been to 10 schools in my life. They couldn't really catch me like the way that they see me through the way that I ask or talk about things. Let's say they maybe not ready yet for me at that time. Um, it was very challenging for my family to transfer me from one school to another. Seeing me so proactive and um, I loved being free and not to be trapped in any kind of system. Loved to study math in the time that I didn't want to be scheduled to study math, let's say. Um, I would run to the music class, just suddenly feeling passionate about holding one of the instruments. It is just me being spontaneous, doing things that I love since I was a child, passionate about stuff that I want to do. And later on, when I started growing up until grade 9 and 10, of course, things in our society is different. Like, Fatima, what do you want to do, like in the future? So saying I want to become an actress was a big no. So, but I
So it
was
was a big no. Why?
because first of all, it is something that is not common in our family. And second, they look at things with more like if I am on screen in an emotional moment, that is like more of getting out of the traditional frame that it's used to protect our emotions, usually not to show them in the screen. Especially if you say like, I love you, like, who is that man? They couldn't believe that this is just an acting in the opinion of just acting, because acting is also real, I believe. But the concept, it was a bit bothering a lot of members of my family to become an actress, and especially that I'm the only actress in the United Arab Emirates that puts her last name with her first name.
Oh,
Uh,
wow, I didn't know that. So you've added both, and most people don't do that.
no, so that's why my family always say to me, like, okay, even if you are acting, why do you put our family name there? And I said, because I'm very sure that this is something to be proud of. It is not shameful. And I should not hide who I am and hide which family I am coming from. And so from that moment, war started to start. And it's like, yeah, it was more about the family name, first of all. Why our family name is that people will know that we are not taking care of our tradition and protecting our women in the society, and we have strict rules, especially when you come from a noble family. That is like even like more challenging for me. And then I decided to go to the UK, and also study acting there, because I felt even while I was studying acting in Abu Dhabi, in New York Film Academy, it was a bit, there are also still some rules for us not to do this, not to do that. And I felt trapped physically to actually practice a lot of things in acting. And so that's why I went to the UK to take even more courses. And I think it was challenging, but at the same time, it was beautiful. Uh, it was very enhancing my spirituality in some way to get something that is meaningful, not only for me, but also for the girls around me who are also from the United Arab Emirates. And whenever someone like come to me and say, Fatima, I wish I can do what you are doing. And when I ask why you can't, and they will always say, because my family, and I will always reply, who said that my family approved? I wasn't even looking for my own approval.
Was that hard
And
for you? Was that hard for you that how did your mother react to that?
in the beginning, my mother was very protective. She completely was against it. Like,
Yeah.
you should not act. And uh, I was, I was even find it so hard to go to castings. She couldn't understand what is casting and why you are late and why. Oh, so many questions. There were like, how many times you will go for casting? Is it the same casting or it's a different casting? So, and that's why when I remember when I used to study with the other actors in the UK and they go to the casting, I always tell them, please be grateful that you can go to castings. You don't need to actually convince someone that you have casting today and then you can go for your casting. It's already blessing that you can do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the beginning it was complicated, but when actually I started becoming an actress on screen. And people noticed that and they actually wanted to see me on screen. And they will phone my mother and say, when Fatima is coming for the next season, we saw her in this TV series. She was awesome. And the acting was really amazing. And she started becoming proud of me becoming an actress. And it's funny because at the same time, you feel like your acting, your passion for acting is being approved because people approve it. So it is not like they are pushing you to do something that you love. It's more like, okay, since people approve this, then we will think about supporting you as well. We are still in that stage where we are not really fully understood as actors and as artists. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so tell me what you've enjoyed the most as far as shooting a movie or a series. What is your favorite show? Because I want us to show a clip of it during your podcast so that we can really show people the different movies and the different TV shows you're in.
Yes, so one of my favorite TV series that I have done, it's Justice.
Okay.
It was on Netflix. It was actually the first Emirati series on Netflix.
Wow.
And I was also starring on this as a lawyer, and it was amazing working with the team and the other actors. The director and the producer was amazing. It was based on true stories,
Yeah.
and we had some scenes being filmed in the court, in the real court. I had the opportunity to see people who are in real cases, and it was very deep. At the same time, lots of pressure because you have so many people participating in this TV series. Because each episode we carry new cases and we involve a lot of nationalities in this TV series because of the nature of it. The United Arab Emirates, we have a lot of nationalities here, so the cases also carries a lot of nationalities, and it was just like a global thing that was happening in Abu Dhabi because of this TV series. And I had a lot of fans as well who text me after this from different countries that I wouldn't imagine, like Brazil and like France. So many people who said, like, Fatima, you're an inspiration. We feel moved by your character. And that character had almost a similar story of mine because she was also a bit rebellious. She wanted to become a lawyer after graduating from the United States, but her father wasn't really supportive of having her own company.
Yeah.
So she started building her own path with her own company and taking cases against her father. And this is something completely new as an idea to
Oh
do
yeah.
something like that in drama in the United Arab Emirates.
Oh yeah.
It's always showing how daughters are obeying, how they listen to their parents, even if there were some little things, but not to take cases against your.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
raised in the South, in the United States, in the Southern United States. It's the same way. You would never go against your father or your mother. Do you know what I mean? Like you would never take a case. But I love this, and I'm so proud of you. I mean that, like what you're doing and what you've done, and having, I have three sons and I have one daughter, and I love that, and I'm sure your parents feel this way. I'm sure they do, even though when you worry about your kids because they're doing something new or something no one else has done, you're still proud of them deep down. You may not, like, I know as a mother, I don't always tell my daughter, I'm proud of you when she goes against me, right? Because I'm like, that's not what I want you to do. And she'll do the opposite because she's like you. She's got a lot of just, I call it gumption or spirit or spark, right? And I love to meet women with this spark because it means they're doing something that they feel really driven to do. That's their mission. So I feel like you probably came here and that's what you were supposed to do. And I'm sure deep down they're proud of you. So do they tell you that now? Are they proud yet?
No,
No.
they're just like not the word proud is like it's more like we understand her now.
Okay.
We understand why she wants to act because, as I told you, even when I was young and at school, I was the naughty girl who used not to stay in one school, and they couldn't figure out what to do with me. Like, how can we make her uh, do something that she can keep her a bit busy with it, and acting kept me busy with acting. So it is more like, okay, now we understand what she wants to do. So if this is something that makes her feel more grounded and she really got the meaning of herself and the way that she lives in the world. So saying we are proud, it's more like pushing other girls to do the same in the family. So it is
Oh,
more
okay.
like,
Okay. Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
we let Fatima do what she wants. But if we say like we are we're so proud of you, then the other girls feel like, okay, we might go also do the same thing. So it's carefully proud without pronouncing it. Yes.
So when you go places now, if you're with your parents or not, let's say they're there or not there, people must recognize you all over the Middle East and the UAE and everywhere. I would think that they would know who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, and at the same time, there is also one TV program that I did with the kids, Sesame Street. And I was as a human character, and this is like one of the most beautiful recognition for me when kids recognize me, because
Oh,
it's so pure and so like something that a love explosion when they see you. It's like, hey, you are real.
hey, Sesame Street
So,
used to be one of my favorite shows to watch as a kid. So
me too, yeah.
yeah, I love that. I love that you're doing that. What's been the hardest thing about following your dreams to do what you're doing right now? What was the hardest thing through all of it?
I would say to be original and not to try to actually, I mean, you always feel that there is a certain market around you. And if you adapt each market with what they are looking for, instead of being original and really stick to your raw talent, let's say. This is something that I find it a bit can be difficult in this time, because a lot of social media, let's say, people are also entering the industry of acting. So I would say being original and stick to your talent and build your craft. Uh, it is something that I mean, as an artist, has to do from time to time. And it's not necessary that you do it with acting courses or workshops. I travel to different countries, and sometimes I would be in nature to be involved in different kind of learning, meet different kind of people around the world with different traditions, hear their stories, see how they got influenced, and how they actually react, and what type of emotions they show and they don't show, because this is very interesting from each culture to another. So I find it learning and remaining at the same time holding what is pure about you is something really magnificent if you know how to do it. And it is challenging because not everyone would understand the process of doing this, and how many people can be involved as well, because sometimes you don't want to be too stretched, let's say, and yeah, so it's different, but it's my way of developing my skills. Yeah.
I love that. As I'm a little bit older than you. I know you didn't know that. I'm teasing. I'm a lot older than you, but I've gone through, even as a scientist and a businesswoman. I'm different in the United States. Most businesswomen do not work in 90 countries. They don't. Most scientists look like a scientist, and when I say that, it's because I've had so many people say to me, "You don't look or act like a scientist," and I always say, what am I supposed to look and act like? And because all I know is me. And by the way, I was like you as a young child. My parents kept trying to figure out. They would have loved for me to be an attorney or a doctor, which I am, but I don't treat patients. I'm a researcher and a scientist and a businesswoman, and they would have preferred, because I'm raised in the South, for me more than anything to be a teacher or a nurse, because then I would be home more with the kids. And that was a fight we had constantly. And to this day, when people say to me that I don't look or act like a scientist or a doctor, and I look so different, I say that's because I'm me. I'm supposed to be different, because I really don't like fitting in a box. And I think it's great if people are comfortable doing that. But I think there are certain people that are meant to change really the way others look at the world and how we're perceived. And that takes a lot of heart. It takes a lot of spirit. It takes someone like you who's going against the norm and not doing everything perfect. And I feel like, and when I say perfect, you're doing it against what people expect, right? For you to do. So I love what you've done. I love that you've been successful. But I think what is more inspiring than anything to me is to have this female that has basically broken ceilings. I don't know if you say this in your country, you know, we say we break the ceiling, and that means we're changing things. So one of my questions to you is, have men or women been mean to you because you're different? Because I know sometimes for me that's happened, and I just am curious about you and your life, and if anyone is mean or has been condescending and arrogant to you because of your choice?
Um, Honestly, men in the industry, not women.
So
Men,
men,
some men in the industry, let's say, not all of them, I mean, but because they see me as sometimes someone who is competing. The reason why we don't have a lot of actresses who have like been studying acting. We have actors who just popped up in the industry, but not taking it seriously from the studying level. I'm not saying that studying is like the reason why you become talented, but it shows a bit that you are serious about what you are doing and you have a reference as well. So when I enter like in films and also in TV series, it was more like, how come she knows more than what we know? And what we used to do, she is putting the let's say, rising the competition, let's say.
yeah,
And it is not what we used to do. It is something new that we didn't see, this kind of performance, this kind of choice of reacting. So it was a bit, I'm trying to put something new in my performance because I know what's missing in our drama or in our actors. I have seen a lot of repetitive things, which I find it sometimes could be boring for audience to rewatch it every time.
yeah.
So when I try to do something new, men are the ones who actually try to stop or try to find it a bit like a competitive thing. But not in the point that they harm, but they would do things that it makes it back to the traditional way.
Yeah.
But the reason why, honestly, Justice was one of the TV series that I really loved. That was the director was very supportive, that he actually believed in the choices that I made as an actress. Um, and there was a lot of space for me to actually explore and try new things and put new way of representing the Emirati woman, because they always have seen her in some kind of very specific things that they know already and obviously. So I wanted to bring something fresh, something new, something very interesting, uh, very optimistic, and also to show that there is a challenge in her life. And I always said in my interview, she's not perfect. She had so many things going on, and she can be a role model, but you have to see what she's going through in her real life. And I showed that through emotions and reactions, and it was wonderful. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because people want to know the person and not just, even if you're watching a movie, you want to know what's happening when they're not at work. Like what is their real life like? So my one of my things I try to bring in when I'm talking to people from different countries is a little bit about where they're from. So you're from the UAE. Is that
Yes.
correct? So
Yes,
you're
that's correct.
considered an Emirati.
Yes.
So which clan is which area is your family from? Because a lot of people, and I'm doing this because a lot of people in the United States don't know the history of the UAE, and in the 70s, how you guys all came together in different, you were in different clans and then you all
Yes.
came together. And I'm fascinated with it. I am fascinated with that everyone using their right hand and not crossing their ankles. And I've learned so many things, and I love all of the culture. I actually have not had anyone there be rude to me or anyone not be kind to me. It's been such an amazing experience to spend time in the UAE, and honestly in India. Like, I've had those two areas are very strong for me. I don't know if it's because of my family being from an area over there or what the reason is, but I really want you to talk a little bit about where you're from and the culture, because a lot of people don't understand. They hear the Middle East and they're thinking, well, as a female, you can't go shopping or you can't drive a car. And it's very different there. And I explained that. So please tell us a little bit about that, because you are a testimony to that country, right? You are someone that's almost like an ambassador, because people are watching you. And I've always said this: actors and actresses have such heavy pressure on their shoulders because they're not only acting, they are also representing where they're from, because everyone's paying attention. And to me, this is a gift, because you have influence, right? Because you can help younger women, you can help younger people. So can you give us a little bit of the taste of where you grew up and what it's like in the country?
So I grew up in Abu Dhabi, in the capital. Also, my
Beautiful, by the way. One of my favorite places is Abu Dhabi. It's a beautiful place to grow up.
yeah, and also my mother and my father lives here as well. And it is, let's say, of course, from the past years, it's different than nowadays, how it was and how it is now. But in terms of, let's say, openness, like how open is Abu Dhabi, and it is, let's say, if you talk about the Middle East, I mean, if I say I'm from United Arab Emirates, sometimes they get confused. But when I say Dubai, everyone knows about Dubai.
Isn't that true? I know, because they don't, a
Yeah,
lot of people don't, when you say UAE or the Emirates, they don't understand. But if you say Dubai,
yeah.
I know they
They
know.
understand where
Yeah.
I'm coming next from.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it is just like 1 hour and a half, almost less than that, even from Abu Dhabi to Dubai. It's not far away. Um, we are still in some way conservative. We love our traditions. There are so many beautiful things that we believe that we should carry on doing it. There, there are some things of, like, let's say, similar rules that they kept being in the society. Yes, we do have women who drives. We are not like against women driving, but for women to drive in our country, she have to get her father permission. So it is not like completely 100% go for it. It is like, see if your father agrees to let you drive. And this is something I hope it will be changed, because not all the girls has the power sometimes, if the father says no, to say, I want that.
Yeah.
And for so many things as well, we had things, for example, for women to open, let's say, a business under her name. Let's say even creating candles or traditional perfumes or something like that. They are supportive of that, to give her a special Emirati license, the talented Emirati woman license. But at the same time, they are also asking her father permission to do that. So many talented Emirati women has a lot of talent, passion, and willingness to do things, and ready to do it, and really hungry to do it. But at the same time, they are stuck with things that it's in the rules of their countries, which been made for some things that made sense in the past, but right now it's different. I remember one day that I wrote something about driving when in my Instagram, and the girls sent me is like, yeah, now someone has to talk about it. Finally, someone is talking about it. And they really wanted someone to open up this topic, not because someone is suffering or the main reason is more of we are tired of the repetitive process of doing things before doing things that we really want.
Yeah.
So I wish that this thing is gonna change in the future, and we are opening up slowly by time, but things with women is always taking ages, but it is, I mean, it also filters people, in my opinion. It shows who really wants to do things. Because if you will always keep thinking, I will not do this because my father say no, or the society will not accept it. And then if this is allowed, everyone will do it, even the one who is not worth a recognition, let's say, just doing it for fun. But when there is all these obstacles, if someone shows up, everyone wonders how they made it. Like how we become an actress. That's why everyone is asking how you become an actress. Did your family approve it? So they know the story before you say it,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is
Because your
one of the
family has to
problems.
approve.
Yeah, yeah. But at the
What if
same
you're
time,
married though? Like, so if you're married, because I've worked with so many women in the UAE because I was an ambassador to the European Women's Association, which is part of the European Union. So I went over and got to meet with all your Chamber of Commerce and all the His Highnesses, and it was really great. But there were a lot of women involved in government as well, whose husbands were involved. And I thought that was interesting because they were very educated, they were very smart. And I keep forgetting to ask, did they have to get permission to do that, or did they just decide they wanted to?
very interesting question, because actually it is, we have a lot of what we, when we say Emirati women got the opportunity to be to hold a position or to do something that it's not very common, they do ask for their permission. Let's say that, as I told you, if she's talented in making perfumes, where is your father permission to open your own company that is actually not even a company, just to put a sign in front of your house that or something like that. There is no real place, just in your Instagram that you are selling things, you need a
Yeah.
father permission.
Okay.
So if there is, let's say, girls in the high school, and there is some of them, they are talented, let's say, in ice skating, and to go to kind of competitions globally or somewhere in the world, you need your father permission to actually do that. So some of them got the chance to do what they want because their father is supportive, or he kind of open-minded, and he understand that this is something beautiful about his daughter. And some of them didn't get the chance, not because their father is mean, but it just, they are worried, and something it's new for them. And
Right.
they cannot risk it. They cannot put their
Yeah.
daughter to do something that they never have done it in the family, something new.
Yeah.
So a little bit support of, uh, and at the same time, the government is supporting. So it's really funny because sometimes when you want to do something and your father also agrees, you get scholarships, you get so many things that if you need support financially to do what you want. But at the same time, it is, you will be stuck if your father is not approving what you want. So
What
it's,
if, what about your
yeah,
husband though? Does the husband?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
So
was going to
it's,
say it's not that different. I just want to say this because a lot of times people will hear something and think, well, they're not treating women right. And that's not accurate because it's very similar in our country. And I'll use an example. I worked in college with gang members in the projects. So I was the only person that was a female that was white. They made a bet I would last for 2 weeks because they didn't think I would make it. And my parents cut off funding to me because my dad would not let me do it. And he told me if I did it while I was in college, they wouldn't support it. Right now, was it against the law to support it? I mean, no, I could do that. Our country lets us do that. But my parents were not okay. And it's because they were worried about me. Do you know what I mean? Like they were truly worried that it was something they weren't used to. They weren't familiar with. They didn't want me working with people in the projects or in gangs. And it wasn't that they were bad parents or I had a bad father. It was just they were protective. So I understand the decisions, but I'm like you, there's some things that you want to change because I want people to be able to do what they did with their what they want to do with their lives. And I feel like to this day, if I would have not done that job, which lasted for 4 years, I would not be who I am today because it gave me the courage to stand up and do what I wanted. And ultimately, my father, like your parents, my father ended up understanding and not being proud. You're right, because if he would have said he was proud of me, then he never said he was proud of me. He just accepted that that was something that I was going to do to get me to where I wanted. Because at one point I wanted to work with government and do different things. And then the science part really kicked in into my life because of cancer and different things I went through. But I look back now that I'm older and I understand a lot of it was fear, right? My parents were worried about me. So I understand both sides of that. I really do. But I have so much respect for you for really pursuing your dreams and what you want and talking to your parents and talking to the world. And I'm saying that because it's so important to stand up for what you want. On the flip side, it's important to follow tradition, and I understand that as well. And I respect your traditions. I respect your country. I think they've done such a phenomenal job of bringing in expatriates and really supporting people from all over the world, and also protecting people and making sure they're safe and making sure they have food and housing. But one of the favorite things I have about the U.A.E is that you also expect people to work or to contribute to society. And I love that because there's that balance. And I think every country should have that. So I'm very thankful for everything. And I'd love to hear last comments. I hate that we have to end this podcast, but I'd love for you to give females and men that are listening to this courage and inspiration because of what you've done. So please share any last knowledge or last words of wisdom that people can hear.
Never, ever give up, no matter what. It's gonna be hard. Sometimes it's gonna be tough, but you're gonna find people who really believes in you and push you forward. Anywhere that you go, it is not necessary to say that you didn't have someone to support you. I believe if you really, really determined to actually reach your goal, whether you're becoming an actress or anything that you are really passionate about, just keep doing it. Never stop, because that is one thing that I find it, some people feel it's hard, is being patient.
Yeah.
Until that you reach to the point that you feel, now I understood why it took time. So this is something that I really love to share.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And I hope to see you soon. And I'm so proud of you. And I mean that for what you've done. And I will be watching your television series and
Thank you
anything
so
I
much.
can find. And we'll try to push some stuff out. Where can people find you on Instagram or social media, or where can people go so they can watch everything that you do?
I am active in my Instagram mostly, yeah,
Okay.
and it is the same as my name, Fatima Al Taei. Al Taei in Arabic, we say pronounce it like that, yeah.
Well, we will direct people there, and I hope you have an amazing rest of the evening. I know you guys are, I think, are 12 hours or
Yeah.
13. I'm in New York right now. So yeah, 12 hours, 13 hours ahead of us. I will be there next week, and I look forward to hopefully catching up with you.